Hello everyone, and I'm back again here in Camglish.com. And of course, today we'll continue discussing about a business topic. Alright, and this is called Communicating in Business. Well, are you ready to learn more styles and strategies in dealing with different kinds of people in communication? Okay, well then, on our previous video, alright, we simply answer the exercise given. Okay, so now let's proceed to our new topic to discuss. It's number 5. Unfortunately, there's a problem. Okay, so unfortunately, there's a problem. We'll be talking about sudden problem that we encounter in oral communication. Okay, so in this topic, we'll learn our aims, cross-cultural communication on the telephone number 2, problem solving on the telephone, and of course, the complaints. First one, cross-cultural communication on the telephone, or in here, we'll do the communication practice over the telephone, okay, and understanding different kinds of culture. Okay, so we have here the text given. Okay, the following text gives some advice about using the telephone between different cultures. Alright, and before we read it, let's answer these questions about the organization of the text. So letter A, what is the picture about? Okay, next, how many paragraphs are there? Okay. And then, how many main points are probably in the article? Alright. Now, okay, follow me as I read the text. Okay, let's start. In some countries like Italy and Britain, conversation is a form of entertainment. There is an endless flow of talk, and if you break the flow for a second, someone else will pick it up. In other countries, there is a higher value placed on listening. It is not only impolite to break in, but listeners will consider what has been said in silence before responding. Finland and Japan are examples. Okay, so what do you understand from it? Oh, okay. So it talks about breaking the flow of the conversation. All right, and of course it's kind of impolite or rude to break in, but some listeners will consider. Okay, next. If you are talking to people who are also speaking English as a foreign language, they are likely to leave gaps and silences while they search for words or try to make sense of what you have just said. So be patient and try not to interrupt, as you would hope they would be patient with you. Okay, so what do you think of that? Alright, next. Every country has its own codes of etiquette or manner. For example, it is common for North Americans and the British to use first names very quickly, even in a letter or fax or telephone call. Such instant familiarity is much less acceptable in the rest of Europe and Asia, where even business partners and colleagues of many years' acquaintance address each other by the equivalent of Mr. or Mrs., the last name or job title. How about in your country? Do you use or do the same thing? Oh, I see. And next paragraph. So stick to last names unless you specifically agree to do otherwise. Don't interpret the other person's formality as stiffness or unfriendliness. On the other hand, if business partners with a North American or British background get onto first name terms right away, don't be surprised. And then the picture. Let's say, pleased to meet you. Okay? So different languages, but they used English, right, as their second language. And above all, one should remember that people do not usually mind if their own codes are broken by foreigners as long as they sense considerations and goodwill. This is much more important than a set of rules of etiquette. It is really important to be understood, right? As a speaker. All right. So, what do you think of the text? Okay, now that we are done with the text, let's try to do another thing. This is. Now let's try to answer the following statements with a true or false. Okay, let's start for the British and Italians. It is normal to interrupt the other speaker during the conversation. Okay, what's your answer? Okay, letter B. A special importance is attached to listening in Japanese and Finnish cultures. Letter C. One should interrupt and try to help speakers who may have difficulty in saying what they want to say. It is unusual for Americans and British to use first names early in a business relationship. It doesn't matter if you break certain social rules if it is clear that you are sensitive to other people. And letter F, etiquette is the critical point in using the telephone between different cultures. And now, answer number 3 among this given informations, alright, here, or advice about using the telephone. Which do you think is the most important point? Okay, so tell me your answer and explain why. Okay. Let's say every country has its own codes of etiquette, right? So it is very important to use polite or say your messages in a nice way, right? Like for North Americans and the British, they used first names very quickly. Okay. Alright. And it's usually accompanied by Mr. and Mrs. for the last name or the job title. Okay, so tell me your own. Okay, that's great. And of course, I want you to practice reading the text again and tell me about your opinion and more of your opinion and how about in your country. Okay, discuss about your country. Alright. And on our next video, we'll have the problem solving on the telephone and we'll continue to the next pages. Thank you for listening and participating for today's lessons. And of course, I will see you again on our next video. This has been Teacher Lean, and have a good day. Bye.